Hi guys, just thought I'd have to do a quick update on the modifications to this Kent Marine 94 litre tank. Um, I've now taken the hood off again and just finished the modifications that I personally wanted to do to it. So now we have three timers. The first timer is controlling both LEDs banks, and both the blue and the white are still switched by the switches on top of the cover. So that was the first thing. Timer 2 is now powering the white and blue tube, and then the third timer is powering the white tubes, and the fans are also fed from that. This is basically a timer, a double socket, so when the timer is active both these sockets become live. So we've then got mains going off to the white tubes, and we've got mains going off to a second 12 volt power supply to power the fans. And obviously on timer 1 there is a 12 volt power supply that I think I've shown you in a previous video that is running these LEDs. So yeah, 3 timers, 2 power supplies, one in each of these lines for the LEDs and fans. The fans and both of the tubes, you can still switch those off on the switch on the hood if you want to. You know, there's nothing worse than these lights glaring when you lift the hood up for any maintenance or anything. So rather than have to turn the timers off, I've just commoned out the neutral wires, as I'll show you in a minute on another diagram, from here, and the fans I can let me think about that for a minute. No, actually I think the fans will stay on. No, they won't, because they're on the switch. No, sorry, I'm just thinking this out loud in my head. So no, with the switch on the top, that's controlling the neutral wires on these two lights, and of course the second pair of contacts are controlling the negative rail for the fan. So no, I can override all of those without messing with the timers. Yeah, sorry about that, I confused myself. What I've set this up to do, or what I will set it up to do when I've got the digital timers, is the both of the LEDs will come on first, and then a little while after that the white and blue tubes will come on, and then a little while after that the white tubes and the fans will come on, and then in the evening the process will be reversed. So that's that. So yes, as I've already written down here and mentioned before, I've used two 12 volt fully regulated DC power supplies, and just have a quick look at the diagram I've sketched out. It's not entirely accurate, but you're going to get the idea from looking at it, and there seems to be a number of different wiring and circuit variations for these Kent Marine 94 litre tanks anyway. But that's basically the green block connector where the ballasts are currently, on your unmodified one, plugged in. Now I also found that the ballast is marked. You have a live and neutral terminal. Now on my ballast, the live is going off to the neutral connection on the ballast, which seems a bit strange, but I haven't touched anything, so I've left it as it is and it works perfectly. So you're going to have to check all of this wiring yourself and make a note of where the live wire is going off to on the ballast, and make sure you match that up the same. Now if you've ever looked at this circuit board that this green block connector is on, you'll know that the two neutrals are connected and the two lives are connected, and obviously you've got mains coming in to both live because they're joined, and neutral. Now the neutral goes off and goes through the switch on the hood, so again yours may be slightly different, and I haven't drawn this out very well, but it does make clear how the modification that I've done works. So if you look at the track on the underside of the actual green plug, you'll see the copper track running from live to live to join them up. Now what I've done is from one end right to the other end of the track, I have scraped all the copper away. So effectively this live is now isolated from the live over here. So what you can do then is from both timers you can feed live in from each timer to the live on the green socket. The neutrals are common here. I can't remember the actual circuit arrangement here, but the neutral goes through the switch on the hood to control the on and off, and then obviously your ballast cables are coming out of the live and neutral, and as I say, mine are labelled differently. The live connection is going to the N connection on the ballast. I've drawn it out this way so it's it's clearer on the circuit diagram, but you're obviously going to have to check how yours is wired up. And again, if you're not really very experienced with this sort of thing, don't do it, because you can get a really nasty shock, killed, or burn the house down. So yeah, if you're not sure, just don't bother. I'm happy to take any comments or questions for somebody that does want to do this, but I'm just giving you an idea of what's possible. So both timers are controlling their own ballast, and both ballasts can be switched off purely by breaking the neutral line through the switch on the hood. And as you know, that switch on the hood is a double pole arrangement, and that is also controlling the fans. So the idea is just to leave this on all the time, and the fans will only come on with that second white tube, as that's powered up last with a double socket there. So that's pretty much it. So what can we do? We can select the LEDs on and off. They're still switched, obviously, each bank. I'm going to get remote control timers. There's digital timer packs that you can get that will switch up to 3,000 watts. Obviously we don't need anything like that at all. We're only talking well, not even 100 watts. So there's a remote control, and each digital timer can be timed separately, and of course there's going to be an override on command on the remote control to turn these sockets on and off if you do want to turn them all off or all on at a certain time. And that's I was going to add one more thing actually before we finish. I guess a lot of people have over the past changed the power supply in their PC. It's a really simple thing to change. There's just 4 screws on the back usually, and all the plugs are pretty straightforward. Plug into the motherboard here, and that one there, and the hard drives and various things. But these power supplies are usually pretty powerful and a really good source of a cheap 12 or 5 volt supply. So if you were going to do this sort of circuit, if you had a couple of old power supplies knocking around that still worked, as long as they're nice and quiet, or buy new ones because they're only about £10 on eBay. And what you can do is, of course, when you plug this into the mains at the other end, this will not run. What you have to do is just connect. You'll see on focus, yeah, you'll see a green wire just there. All you need to do is join the green wire to any of the black wires. So get a paper clip or something similar, bend it into a U shape and push it into the green hole and push it into the black hole. Tape it up if you're bothered, and you will find then when you plug the power supply in, it will actually start to run and produce all of the voltages. And if you've got a meter, you can find the I think there's there's plus and minus 12 volts. We've got 5 volts, 3.3 volts, and I think a minus 5 as well. And you're obviously only interested in the 12 volts, and I can't remember whether that's yellow or red. But check, you're not going to be doing this sort of thing without a digital multimeter. So, as I say, short out the green and black wires. That will fire it up when it's plugged into the mains, and just use your meter on the yellow and black and red and black to see which supplies you want. And that's a really cheap source of a powerful 5 and 12 volt supply. So that might be handy for this sort of project. I actually had normal external power supply blocks which I've used, but if I hadn't, probably would have bought one or two of these to fire all this up. So yeah, I don't know whether that's helpful to anybody. We've now got everything timed. I can still override everything by turning it off on the switches, and that's probably it. I think I did suggest being able to time both banks of LEDs, but really I can't be bothered to get in that deep into the circuit board and add a little switch on the top and cut out the tank hood and things like that. It's just not worth it. I expect all these lights are going to be upgraded in the future anyway, so I've spent enough time on doing this. So yeah, that's it. Hope that might have been useful to anybody, and I've got some more videos coming later today on the on updates on the marine tank. Thanks for watching.